Got a new Godzilla figure. Alright, let's get this out of the way. I know this is not the new Godzilla 2000 figure, and I've been telling for a while that I'm waiting for said Godzilla 2000 figure to come in. It's coming! But, state of things these days, it's a little hard to get these at a timely manner. That really goes for all figures, especially if they're coming from overseas. But this weekend, I went to a convention, then I went and got some yummy food, then I went to a comic book store and I was like, let's look under the back behind the counter where they have all the good stuff. And I saw this figure and I'm like, oh my God, honey, I was with my wife, got married by the way. I was with my wife, I was like, honey, I need this Godzilla figure. She was like, okay, whatever, I hate you. But, no, I'm kidding. I got this Godzilla figure, and we are going to check this figure out. Let's go ahead and do one of these. And here is the Godzilla 2000 Millennium Special Color version from SH MonsterArts. So right away, you can probably tell this Godzilla 2000 looks a little different. The story behind that is that when they were working on Godzilla 2000, one of the people that used to work on these suits or concepts of these things, Yuji Sakai, he had a prototype or concept or what he envisioned Godzilla 2000 look like, which is what we see here. So there is actually two versions of this figure. We have one that is more closely aligned with the colors that we see with Godzilla 2000. So like his body's more kind of that green color, his dorsal plates in the back or that pinkish purple color. And then I believe like a year later, they came out with this version, special color version, that's more closely aligned with what we see. Traditionally Godzilla would be colored with the, dark gray body with the white dorsal plates. So let's go ahead and do a little spin action here so we get a full view of this wonderful figure. So right away when I was looking at this guy, I was really impressed with the detail that they went with this figure. You can see all the love and attention that they put into it. As we take a closer look here and to stop the little spinny spins, let's take a look at the art and design of this Godzilla figure. So looking at the head, eyes are very nicely painted on. With this version that I have, I don't really see any big issues that jump out to me. Obviously with figures like these, if you were to have several lined up, they might have little alterations here and there or a difference in quality, but this one is very, very solid. He got some, this guy does need some major dental work to be done, but I think, for what it is, they did pretty well with painting all the teeth that are inside his mouth. It's kind of got that, white base with some kind of brown splotched onto it, and you kind of see the same thing happen with his nails on his hands and his Godzilla toes. So honestly, looking at this guy, nothing really stands out or jumps out to me that of the painting detail that they did. Base body is kind of, as I said before, got that traditional dark gray blackish color to it. As we look at the knees, we get a little bit of light here. His belly is a little bit of a lighter color as well. Dorsal plates, I really love how they have this nice transition from, the base of his back, being that dark gray, black color, and then transitions very, very smoothly into that white color that we see very prominently in his dorsal plates there. So very good stuff. And then as you go down the body, you kind of see it slowly transition into the dark base color of his skin from tail to his dorsal plate. So very nicely done there. And again, you see those nice transitions with his nails here on his hand and even here on his little Godzilla toes. Got that black to dark brown color. Let's go ahead and look at articulation. So articulation wise, let's look at the head. He does have a, what do you call this? Hinged jaw. Sorry, I forgot about that. He's got a hinged jaw. His tongue in his mouth is also articulated. You could kind of swivel that Godzilla tongue around. Head-wise, like if you're just to grab his head, not a whole lot of movement there. The way you're gonna get him to look in different directions is through the neck, which is kind of in this segmented neck here. So you get some good movement here if you want him to look left and right. I do notice with this version that I have, the jaw is a little bit, I mean, not too bad, but a little loose on the bottom, but nothing that, you know, just using my hands I could adjust. Arms wise, I'm gonna put him here on the base. Can't really do any Godzilla T-poses with this guy, and that's mostly because the plastic here on his arms kind of hits the main chest torso piece here, so it kind of prevents the full, you know, 180 straight line that we see with T-posing, but you know, that's all right. I don't need all my Godzillas to T-pose. Other than that, when you're looking at the body, this is about as upright as he can get, which, you know, to me that's fine, because with, you know, especially Godzilla 2000, he's usually kind of in that hunched over pose, so it doesn't really bother me too much. In terms of the hands and arms, hands are on a swivel, so you can spin that around as you'd like. Arms, you can move up and down and spin around as well. And, you know, I gotta say, for this being an SH figure, I'm really glad that I'm able to mess with it as much as I can without having to worry of it, you know, falling apart, as we see later down the line. And even like with the few SH figure art or MonsterArts that I do have, they're a little more delicate about, you know, being touched and stuff. So big plus for me is that you're able to mess around with this guy and not worry about him falling apart on you. Another thing I was impressed with was the tail articulation. You know, compared to what we have these days, I feel like it's pretty impressive. You're able to do as much as you can with this tail. I do think with this figure being a little older, and, you know, this being a previously used figure, some of the strengthened tails kind of waned a little bit, but, you know, for the most part, if I put it in a position, it kind of holds where I want it to be. So if I want it over to the side, it'll stay like that. If I want it over here, it'll stay like that. So, you know, nothing too bad. And I think, given how old this figure is and what we have today, this is not a tail to dismiss. Very, very nicely done. So how does this bad boy scale with some other monsters that are going to be on your shelf? So over here, I have another relatively new SH MonsterArts figure that I got for the 70th anniversary of Godzilla. This is the 1954 Godzilla, based off the poster version. So, you know, I'm not super crazy about scaling with my Godzillas. I think he fits in pretty well. Nothing really jumps out to me as, you know, being offensive with the scaling here, but, you know, if that is important to you, here's how he might look like with another SH figure. I also have, in terms of Millennium figures, I have the Bandai Movie Monsters Godzilla 2000. This kind of gives us a good idea of, you know, how the design evolved into the final product, and you can really see the DNA of this guy with the Godzilla 2000 that we know and love. But, you know, again, it's still really cool to kind of get this, you know, at all, because, you know, they could have just made a Godzilla 2000 figure, and, well, they did take a while on that. We're now finally getting one. But, yeah, I think it's still really cool to kind of see, you know, the evolution here of the Godzilla 2000 design. Other than that, I also have a 2002 or maybe 2003. I don't remember which one this is from, but it's a NECA Millennium Godzilla from wow. So there you can really see the scaling is whack, but this is the Godzilla from versus Kiryu. So this guy is obviously a lot more taller than my little guy over here, but you know, I don't really know generally how SH and NECA scale with each other, but, you know, something to keep in mind. And then let's see how this might look like with some Haya figures. So the Hayas are definitely a little bigger, especially the Legendary here, but, you know, it's kind of what I expect. It's the Legendary to be bigger, but, you know, again, if scaling is important to you, here's how it might look like next to some Haya figures. So overall, how am I feeling about this figure? I freaking love this guy. This is such a badass version of Godzilla 2000, and it's different enough to warrant having it, in my opinion, on your shelf. And it's cool to also know that Yuji Sakai helped in making this figure with SH MonsterArts. So kind of cool little collector's item. These days it is a little bit more expensive to get, but it is a figure I've always had my eye on, and I've seen it the other day in a comic book store. It was a really, really nice surprise for me. But yeah, I am, as I've been saying for a while now, I am expecting the new Godzilla 2000 from Mega Garrus to be coming in any day now. I got the email this morning. So I think it'll be cool to have this figure and have the new one and kind of compare them side by side, and also gives us a good idea of how SH MonsterArts has evolved over the years. I'm not the biggest collector of them. I'm very selective of what I get from them, just because compared to some of the other brands, they are a little bit more on the expensive side of things, but this one is well worth the price. I'm really, really loving this guy and just the fierce and badass energy that he brings to the Godzilla 2000 look. I couldn't be happier, to be honest with you. So yeah, that'll do it for this video. Stay tuned for more stuff on the way. I know things kind of slowed down a little bit, but that's because as I said before, got married. So we had a wonderful, wonderful wedding day, and then since then have been some Godzilla news coming out. So yeah, that'll be the end of this video. Hope all of you are doing well. Thank you to those that are coming by the channel and subscribing. I do a lot of shorts. I'm trying to pick up the pace again with videos and in-depth reviews like this. So we'll have another one soon. In the meantime, hope you all have a wonderful day. Enjoy your time with your loved ones and keep on collecting Godzilla. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.